AWS Cloud Fundamentals Lab 2 working with Elastic Block Storage. And I'll be the first to admit I'm not the most knowledgeable on EBS, the Elastic Block Storage. In fact, if I'm not making a more conscientious effort of it, I will mistakenly refer EBS to Elastic Beanstalk. So just wanted to put that out there. So this is Lab 2 working with EBS. We kind of went over this last week a little bit in class. With the weather, we didn't ever have everybody attend class. And again, full disclosure, this week has been the OETC conference in Columbus, and I just got back home yesterday. And the past 2 days I've been conferencing, so I'm not exactly prepared to go on to the next section. And which is good to know. This is actually a really good thing to note because, we're doing, I explain to my students this is a beta test and me teaching this course. And one thing that I've learned in regards to teaching this course, if I'm going to do it like actually officially, which I am officially, just they're not being charged for it because they're my test dummies. And but one thing to note, like whenever I'm actually charging for it and it's being done more formally, I need to schedule my time better. So like I said, this is a test version of it, and I've learned one thing: I need to schedule my time better. But the more I do this, I think the more comfortable I'll be as well. So that all kinds of comes into play. So this is working with Elastic Block Storage, and you will hear me say probably Elastic Block Storage instead of EBS, just so I can get it in my brain that it's Elastic Block Storage and not Beanstalk, Elastic Beanstalk. Okay. So I have a little diagram here of EC2, which is like a computing instance. Like basically we're using the servers within the data centers. That is AWS. And so you can be on something as like a Chromebook, where they're not the most powerful. They're more just basically a browser tool, just a way to access the internet, or it doesn't have a whole lot of computing power. You can actually do this stuff, do things that you would need computing power for remotely on AWS infrastructure. And EC2 Instance is one of the services that AWS offers. And then it's attached to Elastic Beanstalk. And I said it again. Elastic Block Store, EBS volume. It's just basically a storage container, and then it has snapshots, which it kind of takes a picture of the status, so to speak. So, okay, this lab focuses on Elastic Block Store. I almost said Beanstalk again, which is an underlying storage mechanism for EC2 instances. So in this lab, we're going to learn how to create an EBS Elastic Block Store volume. And I know I can't say volume right. Attach it to an instance, which again is like a computing thing, and apply a file system to the volume, and then take a snapshot backup. So the snapshot has the purpose of being a backup. You always want to back up your stuff, because if it goes bye-bye, if somebody hacks into it, or just there's complete failure for one reason or another, nothing's 100% infallible. You want to have a backup. So by the end of this lab, we're going to be able to create an Elastic Block Store volume, attach and mount your volume to an EC2 instance, create a snapshot of the volume, create a new volume from your snapshot, and attach and mount the new volume to your EC2 instance. So what this is saying, we're going to create an EBS volume, which is a storage container, as you can see right here. And so we're going to create the EBS volume, then we're going to attach and mount the volume to an EC2 instance. And then we're going to create a snapshot. And again, the snapshot is for the purpose of backup. And then we're going to create a new volume from the snapshot. So if something happens to our main component and we have the snapshot, we need to utilize our backup, we're going to be able to mount the new volume to your EC2 instance. And so other AWS services than the ones needed for this lab are disabled by IAM policy. I'm going to bypass that. So, okay, Elastic Block Store. And it provides persistent storage for EC2 instances. EBS volumes are network attached and persist independently from the life of an instance. Let's see. Okay. So basically they are attached, but they are also independent. EBS volumes are highly available, highly reliable. Yeah. And it can be leveraged as an EC2 instance boot partition or attached to a running Amazon EC2 instance as a standard block device. So when used as a boot partition, EC2 instances can be stopped and restarted, enabling you to only pay for the storage resources used while maintaining your instance's state. EBS volumes offer great improved durability for, my vision is not working there, over local EC2 instance stores because EBS volumes are automatically replicated at the back end in a single availability zone. So let's see, hold on just a second. Okay, I'm back. So a boot partition, let's kind of examine what that is. And there are some terminology and some things that I know what it is, but I have a hard time describing it. And it's like, just it is. And this is one of those things. So we have Google describe it for us. A boot partition is a volume of the computer that contains the system files used to start the operating system. So once the boot files, and when I think of boot, I'm like thinking start, like boot up the computer, right? Once the boot files on the system partition have been accessed and have started the computer, the system files on the boot partition are accessed to start the operating system. So it's part of just getting it started and up and running. Go ahead and close that. Let's see. EBS volumes offer greatly improved durability over local EC2 instances stores because EBS volumes are automatically replicated in the back end. And replicated means basically there's a copy of itself somewhere. And which is, backup purposes. For if you're wanting even more durability, Elastic Block Store provides the ability to create point-in-time consistent snapshots of your volumes that are stored in the AS3, Amazon S3, and are automatically replicated across multiple AZs, availability zones. These snapshots can be used at the starting point of a new EBS Elastic Block Store volume and can protect your data for long-term durability. You can also easily share these snapshots with coworkers and other AWS developers. So this kind of just reinforces the fact that, for more durability, that there's a backup. There's a snapshot, there's a backup. You lose all your data from one resource, then you have a backup to, put everything back together, put all the pieces back together. So let's see, volume features, Elastic Block Store. Volume features include persistent storage. They have a volume lifetime is independent of an EC2 instance. So up here, they were talking about how it's network attached, but they are independent. So, so that's good because they help each other, but they're not dependent upon each other. General purpose Elastic Block Store volumes are raw and formatted block devices that can be used from any operating system. High performance Elastic Block Store volumes are equal to or better than EC2 drives. High reliability Elastic Block Store volumes have built-in redundancy within an availability zone. Designed for resiliency, the annual failure rate of EBS is less than 1,000, not 1,000, 1%. Variable size volume sizes range from 1 gigabyte to 16 terabytes. And easy to use, EBS volumes can be easily created, attached, backed up, restored, and deleted. So let's go ahead and get started on our lab. So start lab. I'm gonna pause this because this usually takes a few minutes. Okay, it's done. Like I said, it takes a few minutes. So we exit that. And then we go click on AWS. See how many tabs I have open? Horrible. 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 I'm hoping I don't exit myself out of something. Anyways, okay, sidetracked. So I wanted to do this side by side. So I take this and I drag it over. And then I hit the Windows key. I'm on a PC, Windows key and the right arrow. Try that again. Windows key and the right arrow. Okay, I think I broke my computer. Windows key and the right arrow. There we go. Windows key and the left arrow. So it puts it side by side automatically. The student told me that trick. Anyway, so AWS. We're going to create a new ABS volume. So in the AWS Management Console, which this is, go to services, but you can click on services and type in EC2. And again, EC2 is like a virtual server in the cloud. So if you can be on something that acts as small on power, I don't know, as low power as Google Chromebook or something like that, and you can still utilize, some computing power that's not already built into devices like Chromebooks. So instances, EC2, okay, click instances. And we're going to click, so we got something that was named lab, and this was already created with, whenever we hit start lab. So it should look something similar to US West 2A because I'm on the East Coast. Mine is East. That's fine. In the left navigation pane, click volumes. You will see that there's an existing volume that is being used by the EC2 instance. This volume has a size of 8 gigabytes, I think is what it stands for. Eventually I will remember this, which makes it easy to distinguish from the volume you will create next, which will be 1 gigabytes in size. So we're going to click create volume. So what they were talking about is right here. So I might play with the zoom just so you can see my screen and so I can see what I'm doing. So gigabytes. And so, okay, so we're going to click create volume. And then we are going to change this to 1, I believe. Volume type is SSD, which is solid state drive, if I remember correctly, which is something to do with hardware. But we don't have to worry about hardware because that's what AWS is doing. So 1 gigabyte is 1. Yeah, we're doing 1 on that. I don't really know what IOPS mean. IOPS. Not concerned about that at the moment. Availability zone, we're going to select the same one that we're in. So if we click on the drop down, you'll see we're in North Virginia, US East 1, and which is what we want right here. Click add tag. Where am I at now? Okay, click add tag. And we're going to give our tag the name key, or the key name. And we're going to do a value of my volume. And then we are going to click create volume. And then, yep. Okay, and I'm going to click refresh because I don't see it. There she is, 1 gigabyte. So you see how we created this? Let me actually go back and do this again. Click on that and click that. This is not part of the instructions. So if you were seeing me in person, you would see them. Don't look at this. Okay, this is not the instructions. I just want to show you something. So actions, delete volume. Yes, delete. It should be in the process of deleting. Yeah. So I'm going to go to actions, or I'm going to create a volume again, and I'm going to do 2 just to make it different while the other one's deleting. Leaving this stuff as is. Hit add tag. So per the instructions, and again, I just want to differentiate. I want to show you something. So this one was name. I want to name this name to my volume 2. Again, this is not part of this. This is not part of the instructions. I just want to show you something. Create volume. Let's create it. Close it. Okay. So it's still thinking. Hit refresh. I messed something up. Try this again. Modify. I'll edit tags. That's what I want. So volume 2, name 2, apply tags, attack and specific cases. Or more. Great. Okay, save. Get rid of that. Refresh. I'm not seeing what I want to see. One yeast. Okay. Add tag. Name. Server. Server. Name. I don't know. Create. Close. So this is what you call going down a rabbit hole. Okay, there it is. So this is what you call going down a rabbit hole, but you learn stuff. Okay. So what I was trying to do was show you that, yeah, I was trying to show you like this is a table, like the key value. That's the whole purpose of what you just saw me mess with for the last few minutes, was like whenever the key is created. So key is the name and the value is in here. Okay, I just wanted to show you basically it was a table, and that this is a table created, but evidently it doesn't automatically show. You gotta show and hide. So lesson learned on that. Evidently there's default things that show, and some you have to manually select. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this because this is not right. Let's see, delete volume. Which one am I on? Yep, actions, delete. Actions, or create volume. Try this again. And this is more, like I said, how you learn. You kind of go down a rabbit hole. And key, there was already something, there was like name was already in there as default. And what was the instructions? My value. And hit create value, close. And then, so this should be, this one should not exist anymore. So let's hit refresh. I know how to get rid of that. Okay, that my volume, because that was the key name. Okay, so evidently that doesn't go away. Good to know. I'm not diving into it anymore right now because I just don't have time. But good to know. Anyways, we attach the volume to an instance. So let's click on my volume. In the actions, select attach volume. Attach volume. And we are looking for, in the instance, we're going to click on the lab because that's what we're running right now. Let me show you. So you can actually duplicate this tab. I have a meeting. What time is my meeting today? Meeting is at 1:30. Okay. Okay, so I duplicated that tab. And again, with the purpose of me going through all this stuff is just to kind of show you the connections. So do this down. So we're in the volumes of Elastic Block Store. And the instructions were to select my volume, which we got. In the actions, select attach volume. And then in the instance that's already running, we only have one instance running, which is the lab. There's the name. And then that's their name. That's the only one running. If we had created another one, say launch instance, I'm going to do this one. And yeah, review launch. Let's see if I can just launch it quickly. Proceed without a key pair. And again, this is not part of the instructions that you're seeing right now. It's just wanted to show you. So now I have two instances running. I don't think I can, no, yeah, I can't edit. So I can edit the name, practice stuff. I don't know, horrible at names. Okay. So if I click back in here, hit cancel, and let's go ahead and hit refresh, just so see what happens. Where'd it go? Oh, okay, evidently I got 3 volumes. Evidently I did 3. Okay. But actions, attach volume. Okay, now I'm going back to here. Attach volume. And if I click here, there should be 2. See? So what that, I just want, again, just to show you the correlation to what these drop downs are. Okay, so there's lab and then there's the practice stuff, that EC2 instance that I just created. They're both running. So if I go back in here and if I hit actions, let's go ahead and terminate. Yes, I want to terminate because I don't have termination protection on it, or accidental, something like that. So if I click on here, hit cancel and refresh, it might still take a few minutes, but let's see what happens. Attach volume. Okay, just the one, the original one. Okay, so anyways, went through that rabbit hole to get to this point. So click on lab running. In this instance field, name, the device field is set to You'll set this device. Okay, so then we click attach. So we're on Windows. I'm on Windows. I don't know what you're on, but so there's Windows and then there's Mac instructions or Linux, but I'm on Windows. Read through the, okay. So we're going to click on details. It says to read through the 3 bullets, but I've done this before, so I don't remember what it was. So details, show, and we want the lab user PPK file. Download the PPK file. Don't exactly remember what that stands for. I think it's something for a key. Close that out. And save. Okay, go ahead. Hide tools. Like that. Okay, then there's a lab PPK file. And then we are going to, okay, we did that. So we're going to use the putty. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. Putty? No. Okay, so I already, I can't remember if I've installed it on this one, this computer, or the laptop. I'm not on my laptop right now. If I had to guess, I'd say it's on my laptop. Let's just go ahead and download it because I think it was on my laptop. So let's go ahead and download it. So it's downloading. Evidently I have, because that's a 1 in there. So it's the second time I've downloaded it, evidently. Okay. Open it. Open. Animating. I'll pause this. Maybe. Pause it while it's thinking. Pause. Okay, so I open up the putty and evidently I did it twice. So putty, that's how you're supposed to say it. That's how I say it. Open putty, open or configure putty to not timeout. So we're going to click connection, and under seconds kept between keep alives, we're going to change it to 30. This allows you to keep the putty session open for a longer period of time. So configure the putty session right here, and the host IP name is, we're going to copy and paste the IPv4 public IP address for the instance. To find it, go back to the EC2 console. And remember, I open up a duplicate tab. So I have my EC2. You can see I'm under instances and EC2. And this one right here is under EBS and volumes. So EC2 console, I'm going to get rid of this practice stuff one before I do anything else. Where's delayed? Okay, maybe you can't delete it. Thought you could. Going down a rabbit hole. I'm going to get myself out of that rabbit hole because that's not a concern right now. So lab is the one we want to click. And we want the IPv4. So I want to take that back over a little bit. So IPv4 is right here. It's Internet Protocol version 4. Version 6, there's no version 6, but just be aware that those are just basically the same things, different versions, and therefore more stuff in 6 than there is in 4. So we got the 4. We're going to click that to copy to the clipboard. And then we're going to open the putty back up again, and we're going to expand SSH, connection SSH. And we're going to click auth, but don't expand it. And we're going to click browse. And then we're going to think really hard. Okay, there we go. A long time ago. That's funny. Downloads. There it is. There it is. And the reason mine has like one at the end of it is because evidently I've already downloaded this one about it. So yours should, if this is the first time you've done it, yours will not say the one in parentheses. Okay, so browse, click open, and then click open. Click open. Click open. Open sesame. Why it's thinking. Okay, I'm back. So it just would not start. This is what I wanted it to do, and it just wouldn't do it. So what I ended up doing, because remember how I told you evidently I downloaded this stuff once last week or whenever I did it, and that's why I have the ones I downloaded today, both of the putty installer download and the lab pack, whatever it was, installed, because this is the second time I've evidently downloaded on this computer. But I went in and deleted them from my downloads. I don't know if that fixed the problem or I just needed to do it again. But I did go ahead and delete the second downloads, which had the number one on them, and then restart the putty from the original download and the original lab pack download. Whatever fixed the problem, fixed the problem. So yes. So we want to enter as EC2 user, EC2-user. I think that's okay. No, it's not. What do I do? Unprompted. Okay, try this again. Maybe I skipped something earlier. Okay, got putty, session IP, you got the host name. Okay, it was still copied. To find it, connection, sh, auth, don't expand it. Browse for the private key, which is this. And open. EC2-user. No support authentication, available server sent, no public key. What? Unpause this. Okay, it's working now. This is what I did. Again, don't know which thing fixed it, but it's fixed. What I did was I removed that lab pack, like this lab user.ppk file. I removed it from the one I did last week, and I just re-downloaded it again and used it. And then I also noticed that I forgot to, on the instructions, and I don't know if this did it or not, but I forgot to do the TTS, or the time to live, to keep it alive. I didn't change that from 0 to 30. Don't know if that did it, but this is all part of the process. Me having these frustrations of I'm actually learning a little bit more, as opposed to what I would have learned if I just did it all work perfectly the first time around. So as frustrating as it can be when things don't work right, enjoy the fact that you're learning. Okay, so skip. Okay, so now we're here. Task 4. I'm just going to copy this stuff, copy and paste. I don't necessarily know what all this stuff means, I'll be honest, but you know, it's a file system. And you can right click on it. Voila. Control C, right click. So we're going to create an ext extension 3. I don't know what that is. File system on the new volume. So now we're going to, this is Linux based, as you can see. So if you're used to something like like Windows, some of the terminology may not be familiar, or some of it's a similar, very similar, not the same, but just be aware. So we're going to create a new directory, mounting the new storage volume. Let's see. And then we're going to mount the new volume. And we're going to configure the Linux instance to mount this volume whenever the instance is started. Line 2, you need to add a line. Okay. Okay, so we see our configuration there. And we see all of this stuff, right? On our mounted volume, create a file and add some text to it. And again, these are just pretty much command line. I would say they're similar to command line directions, if not exactly command line. I consider it command line. I don't know if whether or not that's 100% accurate, may or may not be. Verify that the text has been written to your volume. Okay. So we're going to create an elastic block store snapshot. So you can create any I can't talk, any number point in time consistent snapshots from Amazon Elastic Block Store volumes at any time. Amazon EBS snapshots are stored in S3 with high durability. The new Amazon EBS volumes can be created out of snapshots for cloning or restoring backups. So EBS snapshots can also be easily shared among AWS users or copied over AWS regions. So I'm going to minimize this right now. So we're going to go to the AWS console. And we are going to, where are we going? Oh, in the AWS console. Okay. Click volumes, my volume, which is what we got, actions, create snapshot. Add tag, name my snapshot, create snapshot. Voila, close it. Left plain, left this area, snapshot. So we got a snapshot being built. Okay, it will then change to state of completed. Once used, storage blocks are copied to snapshots. So empty blocks do not take any snapshot storage space, only if they're used. Okay. It's completed. So in this window that we had, in our remote SSH session, delete the file that you created on your volume. Copy that, open this back up. Oops, right click. And then verify it's been deleted. Copy that, right click. And yes, the losses found is fine. I don't know what that is, but it wasn't our thing that we uploaded. So we're going to restore the EBS snapshot. If you ever wish to retrieve data stored in a snapshot, which again, snapshots are used for backup purposes. you can restore the snapshot to a new EBS value. So we're going to click, I want to just minimize that right now. We're going to select snapshot. And the actions, we're going to create value. And availability should be what we've been in. Add tag. Name. Restored value. Create value. And then close it. And then we are going to select in the volumes. Restored value, which again is what we just created up here. Actions, attach, and we're going to click on the lab because we only have that one instance. Okay, just checking on something. Click on instances, because remember I was making that practice one. I just want to see if it's still on there. And it's still on there, but it's terminated. So therefore, not available in this drop down. Make sense? Makes sense. Okay, attach. Okay, now I need to be under instances. Select, okay, the lab. And then the device field. Where's the device field? Note that the device field is set to dev. I feel like I missed a step. Click on the instance field. I feel like I missed a step somewhere. Okay, click on the instance field, then select the instance that appears. Okay, which we're ignoring the this because I created this. It was this. That the device field, I don't see device field. Oh, there it is. Okay. Control F when not everything else fails. Okay. DV SDJ. Yes. Sure. I mean, it's got it on there, so I'm assuming that's right. Okay, so we're going to click attach. That's not what I wanted. click on the instance field. Okay, which is that. And then click attach. I feel like I'm missing something. Okay. Let's kind of back up a little bit. Volumes. Restored. Oh, I was in the wrong thing. Okay. And that's how you learn. So volumes, restored volume, click actions, attach volume. Where is it? Restored, yes. Actions. Click attach. Why won't it let me attach? Okay, so this is what we said earlier. Let's back up a little bit more. Okay, create a volume, click my snapshots, actions, create a volume, yada yada, same, add tag, name, restored, create volume, close it. Got that. Now we're going to go to volumes. And I got EC2 restores now, which is fine, just whatever. Which one was the latest one? This one. Okay. So I want to use this one. In the actions, click attach volume. And attach. So this is what my best guess has happened. I got my instructions mixed up. Because it looks like I already did that, but I just was trying to do something, I don't know. And that's how you learn. Okay, so create a new directory. So we're in here. Yep, got that. Got that. And I'm seriously just copying it and right clicking right now because, okay, so we got another file, which is what good. You know, sometimes it's just a matter of like picking and choosing which beast do you want to tame. And I got so frustrated with this, you know, when I got mixed up on my instructions, I really didn't want to deal with a typo, simple typo. So, you know, build upon your skill set, okay? You know, dealing with this, you know, manually typing this stuff in here was not my focus, obviously. But anyways, so we're done. We created an elastic block store volume, which again is the storage for instances. We attached that volume to an EC2 instance. We created a file system to the value, which was this stuff right here. We added a file to the volume, which is this stuff right here as well. We created a snapshot to our volume, which is basically used for backup. We created a new volume from the snapshot. So we created a new volume, which again is for storage from our backup, which was a snapshot. We attached and mounted the new volume to our EC2 instance. So we attached our new storage, which is the volume, into our computing, which is the EC2 instance. We verified that the file we created earlier was the newly created one. Sure. So now we're going to click in lab, and it's going to ask you if you want to in the lab, and panel will say that everything's being deleted. And I want to double check because I put a bunch of extra stuff in there. So it should, because I've already got this vocal lab things. It shouldn't really be an issue, but let's just double check. An error. Okay, so nothing is there. That's good. Snapshots, anything there? Oh. Instances, anything there? Nope. So everything's good. And that is the end of this. If you're interested in anything AWS Academy, if you're interested in anything else. Okay, it's still recording. I thought I stopped recording. Okay. Let me know. See ya.